Alright, let's see if I can one-take this shit. It's another episode of Stats That Exist But Do Not Matter. It's episode 79. It's brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. And today, we're talking about guys from all over the globe. Just kidding. We're talking about the guys from different states in the United States. If we group MLB players according to the U.S. state that they were born in, which state tops the leaderboards? We're going to dive into the numbers. We're also going to let you, the viewer, Richard, if that was your name, it probably freaked you out. We're going to let you play along. We'll start with an easy one. A nice, easy one for Richard. Which state is the most represented state in MLB history? Is it A, New York? Is it B, Texas? Or is it C, California? 3, 2, 1. If you didn't answer yet, you're too slow. It is C, California, with 2,426 players, including our own Trevor Plouffe. Gotta love that. What about the least represented state ever? Is it A, Wyoming? Forgot that was a state. B, Nebraska. Or C, Alaska? Didn't mean to rhyme there. 3, 2, 1. You should have went C again. It's always C, guys. It's Alaska. But guess who's from Alaska? Curt Schilling. Heard he was pretty good. Also Sean Chacon. Really fun name to say. Pretty good baseball player as well. What about the state with the most Hall of Fame pitchers? I'm not even going to let you guess this time. It's Pennsylvania. It started with Christy Mathewson in 1936, and their most recent inductee is Mike Mussina, famous for his days with the Orioles and no other team, right, Yankees fans? What about the most Hall of Fame players overall? Well, that belongs to New York. Their earliest inductees include Lou Gehrig, Willie Keeler, and Old Hoss Radbourn, and recently they inducted Edgar Martinez in 2019. California is not far behind. They've got 26, just one player behind. The greatest percentage of Hall of Fame players to be inducted from a single state is Nebraska. We're actually going to talk a little bit about Nebraska as we continue here, and we'll tell you some of the players that are from there. What state has the highest batting average of any state? Is it Nebraska? Is it New Mexico? Is it Rhode Island? A, B, C. 3, 2, 1. It's Nebraska. We went with A this time. It's not C, so sorry if you listened to me last time. Wade Boggs, Red Sox legend. Also beer drinking on an airplane legend. He's from Nebraska. He's the big guy there, but they've also got Alex Gordon and Todd Pratt. Not bad. New Mexico, I was shocked to see them pretty high. They've got a 269 state batting average. They've got Mitch Garver, Ralph Kiner is kind of the biggest one there, but also postseason legend Cody Ross, and pretty good hitter for the Astros, Alex Bregman, who almost won MVP a couple years ago. Rhode Island is up there too at 269, but not really the names you'd expect. You've got Paul Konerko, who was one of the greatest sluggers in recent memory, and then the other notable names we could find are Chris Iannetta and Rocco Baldelli. So not very inspiring there, but Rhode Island is pretty high up on the list. For the lowest batting average, though, you've got Alaska and Utah at 224 apiece. Guys, what are we doing? What's in the water in Utah? We know that the water's cold in Alaska, but Utah, what's going on, man? They've got salt in their water, Salt Lake City. Get it? If you're from Utah, you probably love that joke. What about the highest on-base percentage of any state? We got 3 choices here. We've got A, Maryland. We haven't talked a lot about Maryland this episode. B, Nebraska, back at it again. Or C, New Mexico. 3, 2, 1. I pulled the bait and switch on you. It's C again. We're going with New Mexico at a 357 statewide on-base percentage. Good for the New Mexicans. Love that. Maryland's got some great players in there as well. Their very own Orioles legends in Cal Ripken Jr. and Brady Anderson helped contribute to that high on-base number. Also, Mark Teixeira. That's actually how you pronounce Mark Teixeira's name, truthfully. And Brian Reynolds, who's currently playing for the Pirates and doing a nice job at that. Lowest on-base percentage, Alaska. Get it together. Who's from Alaska? We need a stud from Alaska, all right? Enough's enough, guys. Highest slugging percentage, that belongs to New Mexico. 457, not so bad. And the highest OPS, man, New Mexico's running the board, man. 814 on average from the New Mexicans. Love to see that. New Mexico, if you're looking to play ball, you got to go there to raise your kids for sure. What about pitchers? We've talked a lot about hitters. What about the pitchers? Well, the lowest state ERA belongs to Vermont. 3.38 mark. If you're a pitcher from Vermont, you probably had a good MLB career. We couldn't find anybody especially noteworthy from Vermont. It's kind of just a team effort here, but Carlton Fisk, he's from Vermont.
There it goes, a long drive. If it stays
and he's a catcher, so he's contributed to that number in some way, kind of an impartial way. I kind of like that. Win-loss percentage. There we go, Alaska. There we go. We're on the board with a positive note. Alaska has a .544 winning percentage among their pitchers. That is the highest among any state. We love that for them. And North Dakota are the owners of the highest state ERA at 4.66. We haven't talked about North Dakota much this video. I didn't even think they were going to get mentioned, but they get some love here for a pretty bad thing. Some fun facts, though. All U.S. states have been represented in the All-Star game, and no manager from Arkansas or Virginia has ever been ejected. I cannot name you a manager from Arkansas or Virginia, but what I can give you is a great deal at the DraftKings Sportsbook, today's sponsor for Stats That Exist But Do Not Matter. Teams are breaking down film from Week 2 of the NFL. My Giants are 2-0. Go listen to Talking Giants, by the way. And if you're feeling high and mighty about your team, you're going to want to place some bets at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, if you sign up using promo code JOHNBOY, hence the name of the company, bet $5 on any team to win before their game kicks off and receive an additional $200 in free bets if your team wins. Plus, with same-game parlays, you can combine multiple bets from the same game to give yourself a shot at an even bigger payout this weekend. For those in a state where sports betting is not yet available, don't forget about DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they have been innovating even more ways to win some cash this football season. New customers, once again, bet $5 on any NFL football wager and receive an additional $200 in free bets if your team wins. That's with promo code JOHNBOY right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time for episode 80 of Stats That Exist But Do Not Matter. And if you're from Alaska, step up your game.